You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Crisis After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Crisis After Show.
Hey, Michael.
No.
We thinking about you.
All season.
We thinking about you. We ain't mad. Hey, you guys. So we are here for the season finale of Crisis. This is ridiculous. Like, I can't believe it's over.
It's kind of sad.
It is very sad, especially after a crazy episode like this. It was 2 full hours, and it was nuts all over the place. Let me start by introducing myself. I'm your host, Stacy Ike, and I'm here with my lovely co-host. Introduce yourself.
Hey, AFTERBUZZ fans, Crisis fans, we are so excited. I'm Courtney Tezeno, and this 2-hour finale was nuts. It was absolutely
I would say nuts is the way to go. I think the craziest part is I still lost to Francis Gibson. Every time I think that I'm on it. No, I think I'm on his level. I'm like, it's the finale. There's nothing left. You're done. The president's got you. We've got you. No.
Oh, no.
Until the last, I told you, it took 1 hour and 54 minutes for Francis to finally lose. That's a long time.
It was a great episode.
It was an amazing episode.
I love the writers of this show because I completely thought this had something to do with Widener.
Yeah.
Widener was chilling, waiting for his
fishing
Yeah.
the whole time. I'm like, how? The whole time we're thinking this is Widener. Literally, he didn't even show up in this episode. He was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yep.
I'll see you if we come back, whatever. So I just thought everything was so perfectly put together. I love that.
This was my favorite episode. And it's so sad that, it's done.
I know.
That's it.
Over. Michael, we miss you, though. We'll be on a new show soon.
Yeah.
At the same time, Reckless, so that's coming up. But,
Okay,
so
let's not vote for
we'll
the
see you. We'll see you is what we're trying to say. But,
Yeah.
It was just crazy. I think we should definitely start with the first episode. This wasn't supposed to happen.
Yep.
So if we start with the kidnappers at the beginning, we open up with, Francis is reacting to his gunshot. We're taking his thing from Kyle, which we did not believe. That was ridiculous. And Finley turned on him immediately and said, look.
And like I said, last week I predicted, I knew Finley knew that this was all this was theatrics.
Yeah.
Gibson is not, it was theatrics. And I mean, he just knew that Gibson was nothing but fluff.
Right.
And so I'm glad that he stuck to that. But honestly, they kind of worked together in this sense.
Definitely. I mean, at the end, you kind of saw what Finley's execution goal was and what Francis's goal was at the end of it. So yes, it all worked out, but I love how it started where Finley was, I'm done with you. But at the end of it, Francis still came back and said, okay, I will help you if you believe me, blah blah blah. And Francis knows the law. Remember, I got really upset in the beginning because he did admit to being the kidnapper, and then after that he turns around and says,
flipped that great actor on the show. How are you a good actor
and a terrible person? No, he's a terrible
how are you a good
human
actor acting? You're supposed to be acting like this person, but you're still acting.
Yes, he's nuts.
He's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
I compared him to the modern day Joker because he's so calm every time he's doing bad. I'm like, ooh.
I actually really hate that about him because even when the bad had to do with his daughter, he still was thinking my daughter is taken. I'm sad. And I'm people.
Absolutely.
Pay attention. Yeah, he's crazy. And I love how his wife came back in the mix, but I just think she really irritated me. Yeah.
She didn't.
I just love how his plan was kind of working at first, and she just doesn't. And I love how Dunn said, do you trust your husband? What's going on?
We could tell from her shakiness she did not trust him.
She had no idea what was going on.
If she had to choose again, I thought she would choose Widener, and it was very clear this episode that she was just like, should I really trust you?
Why
Who
am
are
I married to you?
Yeah. But then she still somewhat helped him. She didn't know she helped him, but when they were on stage together, that was all set up. Come and, let's do interviews together. Let's be first lady and first, that type of vibe for people. They're not heroes, neither one of them. And I don't know, it sucks. I don't want to get too deep in the episode.
Well, it was, I mean, you can, because it was crazy. And I think, we also were just talking about how the kidnappers completely turned on Frances. And I was kind of confused because I wasn't sure if they were mad. You know, we saw in the beginning Frances was giving Finley some information. So I assume that's why they turned on him. But
I thought later it kind of, I think they turned on him because money or something.
Somebody took their money.
Somebody took their money. So the contract was broken. And so they had no need to like keep him. So they were like, okay, deuces, we did what we have to do.
Yeah.
You gave us the plan. Now we're just going to leave you to die. So that kind of sucked. But I don't know, like Gibson again has like plan A through Z. Like he was on top of it. Like, okay, you're going to let me die. Actually, he wasn't. He was dying. Let's admit that he was actually dying in this fire.
See, now I feel like Francis knows his body. And he probably
no,
but just in general, yes, he was dying, but he bounced back too quick with the plan.
Immortal. He is not immortal.
It's possible. It is very possible. He almost died like 6 times in this episode.
Okay, but
this season,
he knew getting shot that he was going to go through that pain. But in this fire, Finley saved him.
Yeah,
he was going to die. So
he did mention that a few times, and it's really interesting. If he would have died, then what would happen? But he couldn't have died because he had too much. We need him. We needed him from the beginning to the end because
from a viewer standpoint, of course, you need him. But let's be realistic.
If he would have died, we would have got the kids and left.
We did not. If it wasn't for that trifling lady Alicia, and that weird X5677 code, then we would have all died. We would have all died.
I hated that I just hated at the end of it. It was about her being with her. Well, I'm not that mad at her because Kaz is cute. I ain't gonna lie, okay? No, I think he's cute.
You're too into that.
I'm just saying he's cute.
He is horrible.
He's a horrible human being, but he had a cute face. Let's move on. So the point is, Alicia was trying to be with her man.
Look,
I get it. Actually, I don't get it for the kids, but I get it as a human being. But at the end of the day, just to see that. I'm mad that they didn't catch her, like talk to her, figure out what was going through her mind. You know, she just died, and that was tragic.
honestly, the sad thing is that I hated her. I absolutely hated that she was the little mole in the FBI. But she actually had a conscience.
She did.
When Finley addressed her on live television, she was shaking, ready to text him. Okay, I did it. Please,
don't get her.
Exactly.
That is so true. I'm like, then you're not strong enough to be a mole.
She was in Kaz, her boo. Her boo was the only thing that kept her sane and did not send that text.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there was enough interrogation, enough of her conscience that killed her.
Yeah.
Even though she was shot, I don't think that her sitting in jail would have done anything. She would have rotted in jail and cried for days.
She would have. And
the
funny part is to realize now that I'm thinking of the episode back in play, Meg killed them. Mm-hmm. Wow, Meg's ruthless.
She is.
I like her.
I think she is.
I like her. She the best.
And it was so funny that Dunn was saying like, oh my gosh, I don't know what she's been through. And the whole time Meg is like, I don't know where my daughter is, but I'm about to get him. I'm about to get Gibson.
Because she knew.
She knew exactly what she had to do. And honestly, Meg had nothing to lose when you think about it. She's already gone on trial.
Exactly.
She pretty much sold herself and her business. They're all going to jail, or they're all going to have some type of repercussions. So she knew that she was the only way she could get Gibson. So I think it was smart for her to go ahead and take over like that. So,
but I think what's sad is that her and Gibson were the only people in the ring after a while.
Yeah.
Why was the FBI completely out of it? Why are they so out of it?
They are always out of it.
Olsen, you need to retire.
Okay, stop.
No, I think it's time. I just don't understand.
First of all, the season's done. So.
Whatever. Next year, I don't want to see you. God.
Okay, let's not go in on Olsen. Olsen was he wasn't in the loop. He was not in the loop.
Never.
He wasn't. But I don't think it was all on him. I definitely think. Actually, I just am done with it. Actually, I lost my train of thought.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I think at the end of the day, I love how, Agent Dunn and Agent Finley come through like they always do. And I like
think more so Finley.
Yes, this is
Finley
true.
He needs to be promoted.
Yes.
Can you promote?
He should be the new Olsen.
He should.
I think it's time. Retirement
so
we're
gonna make predictions for a possible second season.
Yes, if you guys want to bring that back.
Yeah, bring it back, please.
But with that said, I think where they saw Alicia and Kaz was a really sad situation. Mm-hmm. And it was so sad that Kaz said, we don't do names here because in this business, names get you killed. And I was thinking, dude, like, what's your life been like in the past whatever months you guys have been in this mansion? I mean, it makes no sense. He's so jaded to everything, and he was just so ready to get to Tahiti and do his thing with his girl. And I was thinking, okay, man, you are so far removed.
But were they really going to Tahiti? Because then I remember them saying, like, Tahiti's the address to here. So like she basically fooled them. I don't know, like it's just weird.
It was
Everything was
confusing.
too intertwined. So
It
like,
was a
are you
little confusing.
actually going to Tahiti with this money,
or you guys are
did you
staying
just
there?
put Tahiti to throw everybody off?
I think
Everyone's smart. Everyone was smart.
I don't think it's to throw them off because they found the Tahiti under the laptop and they wouldn't be like, oh, they're gonna find it. They didn't assume that was gonna happen. You know, the plan was very thrown off by the end. So I feel like they weren't really sure what they were gonna get.
I think it was smart either way. But
yeah.
Okay, so can we please talk about Beth Ann? She was tortured this entire episode.
Season.
Yeah,
to
okay,
be honest.
season.
Yeah.
But this entire episode, this poor girl is just like gone through the ring.
Yeah.
And in the scene when it was Alicia and Kaz, like she just sitting in the back chilling. Not chilling. She wasn't chilling.
But
she's sitting in the back just being tortured and like you're just talking about, you want a beer? Like I thought that was just too much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But they weren't trying to hurt her. Honestly, they don't even care about Beth Ann. They just wanted their money, which was sad in itself.
I don't think anyone cared about Beth Ann except
know.
Gibson, which is what they knew. But everyone's just throwing the girl around. Like, that's just no life to live at all.
And it makes me mad because the mother of Beth Ann was she's not stupid because she knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't she more vocal? How was your kid the only one missing?
She kept saying that, but she didn't do anything about it. And I think Gibson knows his partner and that she's not aggressive. Meg, I mean, honestly, they picked a nice balance because Meg's husband, he's gone. We don't know where he is.
We don't know what happened to him.
Exactly, and he's a strong, powerful one. And then there's
Goodness.
Gibson, and his wife is just nonchalant, just ditzy. So, I mean...
And we didn't even see Jonah the rest. I'm sure he made it, though.
He made it.
He's never going to come back.
We did not acknowledge that.
He's not even calling
we
y'all.
should
Can we get an applause,
Can we please
Steven?
get an
Can we get an applause?
Please.
Thank you.
Jonas made it.
We love you, man. We're so proud of you. And we hope that wherever you go, you never answer a phone call again. Okay. No, he needs to be in solitude. Like, he needs to be alone forever.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Never, because you can't he couldn't trust a woman. He couldn't trust a man. He couldn't trust anyone. His career. Like, no, you need to get some strawberries and just hang out on an island.
Not strawberries.
Why
maybe,
not?
Maybe grapes. I like grapes.
All right, whatever. You know, as long as they're green. But with that said, I
hope your strawberries aren't green, Stacy. Please.
Oh no, I mean
all
grapes.
The grapes. I'm like, as long as they're green, I'm like, we're talking about strawberries and grapes.
It'd be
Let's
really
get back.
cool if we. Okay,
no,
yeah,
that would be very poisonous.
Let's.
Anyways.
No, he was like one of my ultimate favorite characters this season because he was so weak and it was just so cute. No,
that
it was
him your favorite
because it was sad. It was like, when are you gonna get out? And the fact that it waited till season or episode 12 and 13 to move on. Look, more power to you. Don't come back. Don't call nobody.
Now, I was excited to see that Stacy's prediction was wrong. They did not kiss. They are not lovers. They are just great partners, and it is fabulous.
It was so annoying. I'm thinking, like, this is the end. I mean, actually, the way this episode went, it would have made no sense if they would have rekindled at the end. I like how it went, to be honest.
Yes.
But there were definitely some points that he was, I'm your partner. I'm like,
there were moments when she was like,
kiss him. I did say it a few times. It was 2 hours. Of course I said it.
Okay, well, let's focus on the mission, please.
That was really crazy. I just think it was an excellent season finale. I think I was extremely excited. Beautiful wrap up. There were so many details that I did not see coming, which scared me because I'm thinking even when the kids are out, Francis is still on tap.
That is scary.
That was really scary.
That is so scary that somebody can still control an entire mission and you're not by a computer, you're not by anything. You
would have never got caught.
Exactly. So and then another thing, like, so again, that A through Z plan, like, you're like, you have this a plan Z in your basement? Like, that didn't make sense to me. Like, you're breaking one. There's no way as a wife that you do not hear your husband breaking this concrete. She doesn't care. She's so naive.
She doesn't care.
She's so naive. Like, I would have at least been banging on the door. Like, honey, what are you doing? All right, there's a lot of noise. What's going on? You're kind of
Plus, you just told me that, if I trust you, I should let you find Beth Ann. That should trigger a lot of your nuts. You know exactly who has her. You know exactly what's going on. And the thing is, like I said, we were all tricked. Everyone thought it was Widener. Basically, Francis is the only one who knew it was Meg. You know what I mean? Because remember when...
I mean, towards the end, he knew
in the beginning. He knew the whole time.
He had it all set up. Like, that's just crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
I didn't like the text thing, though. Like, okay, phase 2, send text. Like, why? First of all, I do not respond to unknown numbers, unknown texts, and I don't care how
Amber
traumatized I was
yeah.
and how close to death I was. I'm not responding to an unknown number after I've been kidnapped.
Exactly. Especially Amber's too. I don't know She was
very emotional for many reasons that were good, but many stupid reasons. Yeah. Like, honey, you do not respond to that text message, and I completely understood.
Yeah.
Your best friend. But I'm not Beth Ann.
But I do understand Amber because she gave her reason, and it's still happening. And I think it was valid, but I think both of them shouldn't have responded. I mean, of course we want them to respond.
I think Ian, it made sense for him to respond. I just think that Amber's was coming from a place of like revenge, and I completely get it.
Which is why she was used.
Yeah, and he knew that. And another thing I want to know, are these systems that great to where they can actually make logical responses? Like, even though she said, who is this? Obviously, he's not going to say who this is, but every response made sense. And they were pre-planned.
It's Francis. Let's not question it anymore.
God,
we can't question this anymore.
I really hope there are no real Francis Gibsons in this world, because if there are, let's shut it down. Let's shut the country down, please. There's no way.
I can't breathe. No. You guys, this is nuts. I can't. No. But this is very true. Honestly, we should all move. I'm thinking Australia because you know how I feel about it. But I'm just saying, wow. If a Francis Gibson was around, silence. I just feel like a moment of silence, because look at what he did to this country. Mm-hmm. He had the FBI running around until 1 hour and 54 minutes of the episode.
And then he killed the first lady.
I know.
That was the most
just to put pressure on Meg. That was one that was sick.
And I think it was very well planned because he knew he had the loyalty of of Kyle and the president. But then you take the mother of someone's child and then someone's wife.
He doesn't care. And the thing is, if they would have figured out it was him, at the end of the day, he would have gotten Francis back, and there would have been no evidence. You know what I mean? There's just pictures, and there's just notions, there's just ideas, but there was no evidence. And that really bothered me, that we had to wait for Meg to take action for her to, for Francis to go away.
To have evidence that he's done something.
I can't believe that.
But then he was so smart. He was just too smart in the fact that I don't know if there was, what type of poison did he put on his hand to where like he wouldn't be affected by it, but then someone else is. I think that's creepy.
That is so true.
His body is not immune to humanly body functions.
Exactly.
Like, he should have been burning. Something should have burned.
I mean, maybe he made it himself. He's learned so much from Jonas.
But if it's burning someone, it's making someone's brain bleed internally.
True.
Then how is you're not bleeding internally? There's no way.
I don't know. That's a really interesting question.
He didn't have his finger wrapped.
I would love to say that you guys know this, like you're scientists or you went to some school, wherever Francis Gibson went. Look, they need to raise the tuition because he is smart.
They need to take the degrees. We don't need any more Francis
Because what college did he go to? He learned so much. I mean, this is not CSI this is some one-man show. You know what I mean? For him to do all that by himself. Yes, he's learned some stuff from
the
working
CIA.
Yeah, but come on, they obviously didn't win. So with that said, if you guys could figure out why he could affect somebody else and not kill himself, let us know. And while we're talking about that, I would love to bring up Miss Maria Menounos' new book. I'm hoping you've already picked up your copy. It's fabulous. We're all getting ready for our summer body, which I've been discussing. So you guys definitely need to pick up this copy. We're so proud of her, and it's already a bestseller. So you guys definitely need to get it, or you'll be behind.
Yeah.
So with that said,
shed those pounds.
There's actually stuff you can put on your hands or coat your hands in that will prevent the surface tension from reaching your skin.
What school?
What is it though?
They use it on phones and things like that, but you can actually put it on your hands, and then certain liquids that are harmful to your skin can't even touch your hands.
Well, we have the Wiz himself in studio.
I mean, I don't know what he used in the show because I didn't watch it, but I imagine it'd be something like that if that's what he used.
Oh, you just imagine, Stephen? Dang. You just made us look crazy. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, what? So do you have like more information about how that's possible and what kind of chemicals would go in something like that?
I mean, I can't give you like specifics or anything, but I imagine if he's smart enough to do that, I'm sure he's smart enough to find something that he can coat his hands in. Like if you take your hand and put it in cold water, you can dip your hand in boiling oil, and just put it in and out without burning yourself because the steam creates water tension that doesn't touch your hand.
Whoa.
I mean, there's certain things it's just science, yo.
Okay.
Yeah, I studied journalism, so
not a strong point.
So
of
it's
mine.
not my field, but wow. Okay, well we have that information. I didn't even
It's
know
not
that
to say
kind of
you
stuff.
should put your hand in cold water and dip it in fire.
Yeah, I won't
No,
be
we're
doing
not.
that anytime
No,
soon.
Steven, we're not going to do that. I learned that at a young age with a frying pan.
It's like, I think I'm
cooking
no.
eggs.
Please don't. I'm still worrying about the scars. Let's move on. But let's be, anyway. So with that said, what was really sad is that Kyle finally found out all the information about Hearst. His reaction wasn't what I thought he was going to lose it. He just really had to take it all in. You know what I mean? There really wasn't time to lose it. You really had to think, okay, what did I just do? What just happened?
But it was just one of those crazy realizations, like question after question. And Stacy was talking about, oh my God, they gave this kid a long monologue. But
yeah, because he was, did I do it? Am I the one who killed him? What happened? I was just thinking, okay,
what?
wow.
Like he had
You
so
were
many
overwhelmed.
realizations
Yes.
at once. And I feel horrible for Kyle. I'm so glad that he didn't come back and we didn't see how depressed he was, because he had all these questions. He had all these epiphanies, and then all of a sudden
these wrong choices.
made all the wrong choices. And then he's like, did I just kill my mom? I'm sorry.
And the answer is kind of.
Yeah.
And
so that was a lot. That was just too much. I actually wanted to cry, and
that was
some amazing writing. Everyone that did the sound for that, they just put the drama in that.
That scene was perfect. And the thing is, I'm not sure how his dad is supposed to take the information. How are we supposed to translate all this to tell him, okay, so I killed Hearst, or my bad, and I did this. Ooh, my bad.
See, and then his dad already knew that he killed Hearst.
He did.
It wasn't
He did.
It was his fault.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone else needs to remind him at this point.
I mean, it won't necessarily come from a place of, Dad, I killed Mom. It'll be a place of, Gibson is that good. Because why did Gibson get in your son's head like that? You know what I mean? Kyle's a kid. He's in high school, for goodness sake. Of course he wouldn't have thought twice. He thought, as far as we know, he thinks Francis is everything. So I really can't be mad at Kyle.
That saved. No one can be mad at him.
You can't
I feel
be mad. It's
horrible
just
for
sad,
the kid, though.
yeah.
I think he was the ultimate puppet. He wasn't a parent. He was the ultimate puppet of them all. So that it's just scary to think that somebody can get in your mind like that, because it all made sense. Invite your, parents to the vigil. That makes so much sense.
It does make a lot of sense. I mean, why would he think twice? And I mean, you guys probably can already tell, but we're mixing both episodes together. So the second episode was called World's Best Dad. So we're just kind of already throwing information about what happened there and kind of what was going on with Francis and how he tricked Kyle, and we're throwing all that in there too, just in case you're confused.
So basically starts off that he, the mission has they turn on Gibson, now the mission,
and they said you're going to self-destruct yourself on Sunday.
Exactly. So now everything that I think is, first of all, did you guys laugh when they were just like, Francis, what would you do for your child? I thought that was hilarious.
I thought it was the ultimate revenge.
It was so sweet to see him have to deal with that, and I don't think he was shaky at all. There were no points, which is the sick part,
annoying part of it all. He was like, "Oh, you thought okay, Plan D or Plan D." Plan F, let me wrap them all. I mean, he brought it out. He had no problem. And I love how he made it look like it was a, how do I say, powerful thing or a honorable thing to go up on stage and say, if you're going to ask me to do anything for my daughter, even though I love her, just like the president, I'll say no. That whole speech made him look like a hero.
Great hero. He's slick. He's so slick. And I thought it was so, not even funny, but I thought it was so interesting that Finley was basically saying, you think this is a joke? And you think now that you're not the person in the back anymore. You have the spotlight and you're still controlling things, you're sick. You have too much power and you need to step down off that throne and come to jail and serve your time, because you're a crazy guy. You're just crazy.
Yeah. I wanted to backtrack a little bit to when Francis actually came to Meg's house. And remember how he explained what he went to do? He was saying, I'm not coming to ask about Widener, I came to see you. I was just trying to figure out what did he mean by that?
What clues was he really looking for? Yeah,
definitely.
You're going to have to answer that, because I have no clue. I mean, I honestly thought it was a sincere encounter. Okay, are we on the same side? But he was so smart that he was looking to see, what she had to do with it, or what she was,
or just how mad she was. Yeah, that's probably what it was, because if she would have said, I'm going to help you, it would have been easier. That means that he would have known, okay, she's going to be with somebody else. But the fact that she said no means that she had something up her sleeve, and he knew it.
Either way, she had something up her sleeve, and I think he knew that, and that's why that was the first place he went to. I honestly think Gibson knew that the only person against him, other than Widener, if he wasn't taken down, was Meg. Because, I mean, the whole season, she was used more than once, and she was one of the most powerful parents, and so I think
and just
he
the
knew
most vocal and I wouldn't say she's the most
action.
upset. Yeah, she's the one that was a lot more vocal in the ring with them. And so it was weird. It was weird because, yes, she's one of the most powerful parents, but I just didn't understand why at the end of it, after getting Amber, she would still be... I don't know. I mean, she was just the only one who fought back. There was a lot of parents that were at that hospital.
And it's also because she had power.
That's true. She had people that can fight for her.
She had power, and she could fight back. So she had a lot behind her.
Yeah.
And I think the great thing about Meg that makes her not a villain out of those three people is that she had compassion for everyone. At the end of the day, that mission was not to get Amber back. She had Amber. Was she in a stable state? No. But her mission was to get back for everyone.
Yeah.
So that makes her an awesome individual, even though, she kidnapped Beth Ann.
Yeah, and that's what was so interesting when Agent Dunn said what you did was kidnapping, and then she said, it doesn't matter because you got him. And even when they arrested him, the things that they said, I was thinking, wait, can you add kidnapping to that? But it wasn't even one of the things. They said you're arrested for attempted murder, you're arrested for...
I wrote it down. It said...
Yeah, what was it?
It said... Okay, he killed a man, and then you're arrested because you shot Meg.
Yes.
And then attempted murder of Beth Ann.
Can you believe that? And she orchestrated all that. I mean, she knew, she maybe not the killing of the, FBI agents or whatever, but the fact that she knew she was going to get shot, or she knew something was going to happen, and she definitely knew what was going to happen with his daughter.
Mm-hmm. So
wow.
honestly, that's so smart.
Isn't that crazy?
She was trying so hard to get evidence, because this whole time they're like, so he's going to get away with it. And I think that's so funny, because she's like, he's not going to get away with nothing. So now I have all of the stuff that he said he planned to do, and at least he shoots me, and he can go to jail for that.
That's the thing. Wow. Mm-hmm. The way you ended that's perfect, because the truth is, yes, they have this paper, and if somebody can prove that it's his handwriting, okay, cool, that's down the line.
Oh, that's easy. Like,
it is. But just right now, we need him in custody, and we need him in custody for real, with no outside forces, with, you know what I mean? Because he was just in holding and interrogation, blah, blah. No, we need him wrapped up in an orange jumpsuit.
Soup.
Or, yellow, whatever you wear there. What?
I said he was just in jail sipping on soup.
And he said, I have a bad tooth. I hate him. Oh my gosh. When he did that, I was done. Wait, you putting this man,
he's smart.
I feel like we should ask Steven this too. Steven, in the episode, he had a powder, like a toxic powder put in his tooth, and that's how he killed some of the agents. Now, how did he get away with that one?
What do you mean? Like, how did he...
He kept the tooth in his mouth.
It might have been one of his own tooth. He cut it, and then he put some basically
toxic powders.
Whatever it was. Like smoke came out of the tooth. It was so freaky.
Well, I mean, people have fake teeth like that contain cyanide pills. That's been used since like the 40s and 50s for espionage, where they can bite the tooth and basically crack open their tooth, and it releases cyanide in their system and kills themselves to prevent information from getting out. No, that's been CIA. That's been basic procedure.
Dude, didn't I say journalism?
Exactly.
CIA, I don't know. What?
I have no clue. I'm glad I don't know. That's evil. That is absolutely evil.
Red Scare, that was around Red Scare was when that really was used.
All right, I need to...
Read up.
History obviously wasn't good for us
And
either.
it's also repeating itself. We've got to figure this out.
I hope
Goodness.
that's real life. Okay. Let's not.
All right, so we all have some studying to do, including you guys. But anyway, with that said, yeah, I didn't even know something like that existed, so... All right.
I've actually seen it. I just didn't,
realize, like, put two and two.
I don't know all the big terms for it.
Yeah. Wow. Because he just plucked that out like it was nothing.
You've seen that.
I have, but just the way. When I did not expect his tooth to actually be a factor. Who would have seen that coming? He literally, I have a bad tooth, you guys, aching about it. I'm like, Francis, shut up. I'm thinking, stop
I need
talking.
To eat soft foods? Really?
He is so, oh my gosh, it's breathtaking. It actually makes no sense.
Oh
my goodness.
Breathtaking. Okay.
Breathtaking in a slightly evil way, if that makes any sense. But I do want to go back to Amber and Ian. I think what was really sad was when they were in that, store when Amber put on the mask. What did you think about that moment?
Oh my gosh, she was so shaky. And so, again, the kids are just confused. I think Gibson has brainwashed them so much to the point where, like, she thought, like, this is the man that's going to take us. Like, he knew she was going to see these masks. How did, like, I don't know. I really thought that episode, that scene was one of the more emotional scenes.
Sure.
Because I knew she wasn't going to kill him. Did you really think she was going to kill the guy? Out of, like, being scared? I don't think she was.
I don't know if I thought she was going to kill him, but actually I did. She didn't take the mask off, and she was very... I think she would have if Agent Dunn didn't show up. She wasn't thinking like herself.
She wasn't
Herself would
in an
never have put that mask
state.
on. Let's be real.
She wasn't, but I also think that Ian was in some type of good state of mind he would have stopped her. So I just think
he would have stopped her by what? Jumping in front of the bullet? I'm just saying.
By pushing the gun. Something.
He would let it stand there for as long as it did. Ian honestly was just following her lead.
I mean,
You
he
scared?
was.
I'm scared. All right, I need
Yeah,
somebody to be, and she was saying, let's do it and whatever. So, I mean, I feel like if Agent Dunn and Agent Philly didn't show up, it would have went crazy up in there, which would have been a problem because the guy actually had no idea what was going on, at least from what it looked like.
So another innocent person killed. But I mean, his buddy obviously came a little late, but his buddy might have hurt them. You just never know how that could have gone.
That's very true.
So
there were a lot of interesting gun aversions this episode. There was a lot of like switch shot, like, you know what I mean?
Okay, who was the poor extra that was shot by Finley in that scene? He just came from bow. It was like it was like an episode, not an episode. It was like a scene off of what is it? Is it Call of Duty? Is that the game everybody plays now?
Yeah, it's nuts.
The shoot, yeah, I don't know, but it was just a little too quick. It was a video game.
It was really
and I
crazy.
felt really bad for that extra. We didn't get to see his face.
What was your name? Boom, you're done. I was thinking, wow, dude, were you just walking across the street with your gun? Like, what was happening? Made no sense. And he was out of there. But just in general, that scene, I remember being really quick with the guns. And then the scene with Beth Ann and her dad at the end was very, when Agent Dunn and Agent Finley are on him, it was very quick. I love, or not quick, but I love how Agent Finley orchestrated it for her to turn her body. And
so he could, and that's that great training.
He could be a little bit off it.
He was
very good.
Finley is just great at his job.
He's not a joke.
Yeah, but there was something I was just about to say, dealing with. Oh, I love the scenes with Amber and Dunn. It was so
I know.
sweet. They were absolutely sweet, and it's just like, will you please tell my mother that I killed someone?
You just did.
Yeah, you're telling your mom already. That was just so sweet.
It was good.
And I think Dunn, like, she kept a very good face. Like, she didn't cry. Like, if I would have my aunt just cries out of nowhere, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But it was so beautiful because you could see it in her face, Agent Dunn, how she was reacting, but she didn't do the most. She's always so poised. I really like that about her.
That's that training that she got.
Yeah, she's really, I love that. And I love how Agent Finley said, she's strong, she will heal. And Agent Dunn said, how do you know that? And she said, well, I know her mother. And
she's strong.
I said, Finley, all right, if you're trying to get a date,
okay,
that's how you do it. That's how you do it, Lance Girls. Yes.
See, no,
it's
that's
okay.
The
Don't be
moment,
upset.
That is the moment when she wanted them to kiss. Why?
I did forget about that. I did.
Being a strong mother and a great partner and being a beautiful human being.
Yeah,
and you want them to kiss.
Beautiful human being or not, they deserve some love in their life.
Okay, I'm sure that they have people.
Who?
You never know. They could have been at home chilling, just waiting for them to come home.
Oh gosh, that's a terrible way to chill. Hey, today I had a kidnapping. Tomorrow I'm gonna have another kidnapping.
I mean, that's just the life that you live when
that's true.
You're dating someone like that.
That's true.
So.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think it was a wonderful season finale. Do you have any favorite moments or any moments you thought
those were my favorite moments.
Okay.
The Dunn and Amber, those were beautiful moments. I mean, it was just a lot of killing and just all of that. I think those kind of softened things up a bit, so I was happy about that.
I think one thing that I did write down that I thought was actually pretty crazy was how he tricked the FBI by sending a text to them.
Yeah.
How don't they check with people?
Exactly.
You guys just get text messages?
There needs to be something else. That just shows some of the faults in our system.
Yes.
Because that was crazy. Like, and then you're just going to tell them, oh, well, you're getting out. Like,
and it wasn't you're getting out. They were supposed to take them to another place.
No, for questioning. But, like, you need to make 1, 2, 3, 4 calls
exactly.
if you're dealing with somebody like that. Yeah.
You guys obviously, I mean, maybe they haven't been briefed or something or what the case is, because I'm thinking they should know who they're dealing with, and they just didn't. They brought him the soup. You have no idea what could be in that. He could have.
And you are, first of all, it probably was just an episode thing, but I think in real life, they don't allow the criminal to say, like, I need to go wash my hands. No, you're going to sit here and be dirty. Because we need to get your fingerprints at this moment. Like, there's no way.
But the thing is, he's not a criminal yet. I don't even know if he was officially charged.
Okay, but at the end of the day, if you're being in this room, everything on you is up for examination. You need to, before he goes and he washes his hand, okay, you need,
swipe the hand.
Yeah, not even swipe the hands. Go check with someone else to see if there's something they need from that. If he needs to pee, okay, great, we're going in with you. But no, I'll get you some baby wipes after.
And that's what really made me mad, because that was another evidence lost. And that's why Meg had to do what she had to do. Because she's thinking, okay, you probably got him for killing, the first lady. Still no? Okay, well, you probably got him from this. Still no? I mean, this is annoying after a while. I'm thinking, all right, sister, we're going to have to wrap this up.
She's going to have to step in and do everything.
Because it was just really insane how many times he went around the FBI. And of course, like I said, I'm not trying to blame them, because I see their efforts. Obviously, they were trying to be a step ahead. Sometimes they were running the same race. But most times his plans exceeded everything they thought about and more. And I'm thinking, how? What training? I don't get it.
Yeah, he was a little too slick. And for him to think, I'm trying to think, those open-ended questions we used to get in school, or critical thinking things. He must have been great at those, because when he's setting up the program for text messages, I'm like, who thinks every single move out? I'm going to send this because this is what she's going to
say because she's 17, and that's what 17-year-olds say.
That's some great critical thinking skills. You're really thinking ahead.
No, he's nuts.
I mean, I don't know how long it took him to plan that, but it would have taken me decades.
So what did you think about the last couple minutes? So, it all kind of goes south. Francis is finally arrested, and then we read the last couple sentences of his plan. What do you think about that moment when Agent Dunn read it out?
It's a little cheesy.
Yeah?
It was beautiful, but a lot of things that are beautiful are kind of cheesy. So, I mean, for his last line to be my last plan is for me to reunite with my family and go home. That's beautiful, but that was it? That just lets us know, that's all he was looking for, is for his family to be connected the way he wanted it to be, and for them to go home and be happy.
The thing is, you were willing to risk so much for that. Why didn't you buy them flowers?
What?
Candy.
Flowers? Okay.
Something. No, I'm just thinking, you could have bought somebody a trip to Paris. I'm sure the daughter would have been all right, let's try it out. I've never been to Paris. Just something you kidnapped several human beings.
No, it's nuts. But I don't think flowers and roses and candy or a trip to Paris would reunite their family the way he wanted it. Because, it was pretty messed up. I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. But some families, go through, crazy things. And, trips and stuff is just going to, that's the surface level way of dealing with it. So I think having that connection that they had when they were kidnapped, that's exactly the high pressure situation they needed in order for him to get.
Why didn't he just get them mugged? You could have done it. I'm just saying, you put so many other people's life at risk. You literally had people running around you. Now, if Widener was also a part of that plan, cool, because that part made a little bit more sense.
That was the biggest part of it, but also getting the trust of his daughter, that was one of the big things as well. I just think at the end of the day, it ended up being more so all for Beth Ann. So, I don't know.
I feel what's the people at school going to say when she goes back on Monday, and they're going to be like, so your dad?
I don't think she's going to go back. She's going to have that social, no one's going to like her.
She's probably losing it. Goodness.
She already wasn't very, social and didn't have any friends other than Ian. I think she's not going to have any friends. They're going to stay away from her. I definitely would stay away from her.
Really?
I would definitely
stay away. It's not her fault.
It's not her fault, but she is a line of him, and there's no way I'm staying around that. There's no way.
Okay, you guys, we definitely want to know what you guys thought about the season finale. We are so excited to have you. Hopefully you've already watched it, but just to hear the after show and see what we thought. You got any last thoughts for us?
No, that's it for me. I'm really sad that we're ending.
I know. I was going to be predictions, but that's not happening, so we're not going to do that.
We could do No.
Let's not.
We're just going to
we can. What we can say is that if you guys get crazy, you know how shows get canceled all the time, but your love for the show and you being a fan can definitely bring it back.
Revive it to bring it back.
So let's get on Twitter, let's get on Instagram, let's get on Facebook, and let's do it. Let's #Crisis. You guys tweet at us, let us know what you're thinking, and let's do it until it comes back. And if it comes back, we'll see you then.
Yeah, please #NBC Crisis. And obviously you guys can find me at Tezeno's on Twitter and Instagram. So make sure you tweet us everything about Crisis, what you thought about this season finale, and again, let's bring Crisis back, please.
Yes. And you guys can definitely find me on Instagram and Twitter at OneTakeStace and at LiveNaomi.com. So we will see you guys. Well, we hope to see you guys soon. If not, you know where to find us. We can definitely keep in touch. And thank you guys so much for tuning in all season. We will see you soon.
Love you guys. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.